The morning sun cast a soft glow through the curtains as Amelia Richardson folded her favorite cream blouse. She laid it neatly into her overnight bag beside a pastel pink cardigan. Nothing fancy, just cozy. Just the way she liked it. "Are you sure you don't want to wait until tomorrow?" "We could drive up together," Daniel called from the bathroom, his voice echoing off the tile. Amelia smiled as she zipped her bag. "And miss my spa day with Jennifer? Not a chance. Besides, I want to check out the new acquisition before you get there." Daniel appeared in the doorway, a towel wrapped around his waist, silver strands in his dark hair catching the morning light. At 45, he exuded the calm confidence of someone who'd built a legacy from scratch. "Just remember, no one there knows who you are. I haven't even met the staff yet," he warned. "That's the point," Amelia said, walking over to kiss his cheek. "Your inspection team arrives tomorrow. Today I want to see how they treat a regular customer. The real experience," Daniel chuckled, shaking his head with admiration. "Mystery shopping my own dealership. Clever as always. 15 years in customer service before I met you," she reminded him. "Taught me everything about how businesses really work. Being underestimated is my superpower." The Richardson Auto Group had grown steadily over 2 decades. But Daniel's latest purchase, Northlake Luxury Auto in downtown Chicago, was his boldest move yet. The dealership had a stellar reputation for premium vehicles, but in recent years customer complaints had soared. "Just observe. Don't intervene," Daniel warned. "I know how fired up you get when service is bad." "I promise to behave." "Mostly," Amelia teased. 3 hours later, she parked a few blocks from the dealership. She smoothed her white blouse, adjusted her cardigan, and glanced at herself in her compact mirror. At 42, her face carried character. Smile lines Daniel lovingly called her happiness markers. She left her designer purse in the car and walked toward Northlake Luxury Auto. Today, she was just Amelia, not Amelia Richardson, co-owner of a dealership empire. The building's sleek glass and chrome facade shimmered in the sunlight. Inside, luxury cars gleamed like crown jewels under pristine lighting. Taking a deep breath, she stepped through the revolving doors. The showroom buzzed with activity. Salespeople in sharp suits prowled the floor. The air was thick with the scent of leather and ambition. 3 men in nearly identical navy suits clustered by the reception desk, laughing over something on a phone. Amelia wandered over to a black sedan, lightly trailing her fingers over its hood. She sensed eyes on her. Turning, she saw a tall, polished salesman approaching, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. "Good morning," he said, quickly scanning her outfit, noting the absence of status symbols. "Just browsing today?" "Actually," Amelia replied, warmly extending her hand. "I'm interested in this model. I'm Amelia." He shook her hand briefly. "Gregory Norton. This is the Balazza GT. Quite an exclusive vehicle," he said, tone implying she might be better suited elsewhere. Amelia recognized the silent calculation in his eyes, judging her worth based solely on appearance. "It's beautiful," she said, deliberately ignoring his subtle dismissal. "I'd love to hear more about its features, maybe arrange a test drive." Gregory's smile tightened. "Of course, though I should mention the Balazza starts at $115,000. Perhaps I can show you something more practical." "This model is exactly what I'm looking for," she said, voice steady. She was used to this, the quiet skepticism aimed at women in modest clothes daring to want luxury. "Very well," Gregory replied with thinly veiled doubt. "The Balazza GT has a turbocharged V8, premium leather interior, and advanced driver assistance features." His delivery was flat, clearly not the enthusiasm he'd give someone in a designer suit. Across the showroom, 2 other salesmen exchanged looks. "I'd like to see how it drives," Amelia said. "Can we arrange a test drive?" Gregory hesitated. "We require pre-approval from our finance department before test drives. Perhaps we could discuss financing options?" "I don't need financing," Amelia said calmly, though frustration stirred. "I plan to pay in full." Gregory's brows lifted. "I see. Well, our policy still requires verification of funds before test drives," Security reasons, of course. Would you like to see my bank statement? She asked, pulling out her phone. That would help, he said, clearly skeptical. She opened her banking app, but before she could show him, he interrupted. Maybe we should involve my manager. These high-value vehicles require special handling. He motioned toward a glass-walled office. As they walked, Amelia noted how Gregory subtly walked ahead of her, a quiet assertion of status. The door opened before they reached it. Gregory, is there a problem? The manager asked. His nameplate read Kenneth Peterson. He looked past Gregory to Amelia, assessing her in an instant. Ms. Gregory faltered, having never asked her last name. Just Amelia, she said, offering her hand. She's interested in the Balazza GT, Gregory said, emphasizing her lack of a surname. I explained our test drive protocols. Kenneth shook her hand briefly. Please have a seat. I'm interested in the Balazza, Amelia said once seated. And what do you need it for? Kenneth asked, polite on the surface but calculating underneath. I travel between Chicago and Milwaukee frequently. I want something reliable, safe, and yes, luxurious. Understandable, Kenneth said. Though many vehicles offer reliability and comfort at different price points, Gregory can show you options better suited to your situation. I've done my research, Amelia replied firmly. I want the Balazza GT. Research is helpful, Kenneth said with a condescending smile. But our experience helps guide customers to the right vehicle. I'd like to test drive the Balazza, she repeated. Kenneth leaned forward. Let's be candid, test driving our premium vehicles requires financial prerequisites. We can't just hand the keys to anyone. Anyone? Amelia repeated. We have protocols, Kenneth said, backpedaling. Without verified financing, I can pay cash, she interrupted. Would you like to see my account? Even so, he said, maintaining a fake smile. These vehicles have specific maintenance and insurance requirements. I understand those, Amelia replied, aware of how eyes around the showroom were now watching. Salespeople pretending not to listen. Let me be blunt, Kenneth said, the fake friendliness dropping. The Balazza might not suit your lifestyle. A pre-owned model might make more sense. Amelia took a slow breath. I'd like to speak with someone else. I'm the sales manager, Kenneth said, his tone final. Everyone here will tell you the same. No money, no test drive. Gregory chimed in loudly. It's for everyone's protection. It was a calculated humiliation. Public enough to shame her. Subtle enough to deny outright discrimination. I see, Amelia said, standing. Thank you for your time. She walked out of the office under the weight of countless stares. Kenneth followed, still loud enough for others to hear. We're simply following procedure. We'd be happy to help you with more appropriate options. Appropriate. The word stung. I'm still interested in the Balazza, she said evenly. Maybe someone else can help. She spotted a younger salesman who looked less hardened, but before she could speak, Gregory blocked her path. I'm afraid Mr. Peterson has the final say, he said smoothly. But I'd be happy to show you our mid-range selection, something more appropriate. Amelia didn't move. What exactly makes the Balazza inappropriate for me, Mr. Norton? Gregory hesitated, then glanced at Kenneth, who gave a nearly invisible nod. The Balazza is a significant investment, Gregory said as if speaking to a child. Our experience shows that customers who arrive alone without an appointment usually aren't ready for this level of purchase. Alone? Amelia asked. Would your tone be different if I had a man with me? Gregory's smile cracked. That's not what I meant, isn't it? She interrupted, voice cool and clear. I wonder, Amelia said calmly, how many men dressed casually you've turned away from test drives? Kenneth's face tightened. Now, there's no need for accusations. Our policies apply to everyone. Do they? Amelia asked, nodding subtly toward the window, where a middle-aged man in jeans and a polo was being escorted to a silver sports car by another salesman. Your colleague seems to be arranging a test drive for that gentleman. Kenneth barely glanced over. I assure you he's a pre-qualified client. How convenient, Amelia said, her tone neutral but pointed. She took a deep breath, reminding herself why she was here. She wasn't just testing a car. She was here to witness this very treatment firsthand. Daniel needed to know how his newest acquisition functioned when no one thought the owner was watching. Maybe I should speak with the owner, she said, fully aware of the irony. That drew chuckles from a few nearby salespeople, not even bothering to hide their amusement. The owner? Kenneth repeated, clearly entertained. Miss Amelia, Mr. Blackwell sold this dealership last week. The new ownership group is based out of state. I doubt they're too concerned about individual test drive requests. Little did he know. Amelia glanced at her watch. Daniel would be arriving within the hour for a surprise walkthrough ahead of the formal transition team visit scheduled for tomorrow. She just had to keep her cool a bit longer. I'll wait, she said, moving to a leather sofa in the lounge. As you wish, Kenneth said with a shrug, though I don't expect our policy to change. From her seat, Amelia watched as subtle smirks passed between the staff, eye rolls, whispered jokes. She had become the day's entertainment, the woman who didn't know her place. For 40 minutes, Amelia observed while pretending to scroll through her phone. The sales team, confident they'd made their point, largely ignored her now, occasionally throwing glances her way but otherwise returning to their routines. She watched how male customers were greeted, offered water, guided to vehicles, engaged with enthusiasm. The contrast when women entered was stark. Daniel needed to witness this. Then the main doors swung open. Amelia's heart lifted. Daniel Richardson stepped in, tall and composed in a charcoal suit tailored to perfection. At 6'1", with his salt and pepper hair and calm authority, he naturally drew attention without seeking it. He paused just inside, scanning the showroom with a quiet intensity. No one rushed to greet him. Yet. Amelia, watching from the lounge, noted the shift. Then Gregory spotted him. His posture changed. Instantly, "Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Northlake Luxury Auto," Gregory said, moving quickly to intercept. "I'm Gregory Norton. How can I assist you today?" Daniel smiled politely but didn't answer right away. His eyes scanned until they landed on Amelia. For a moment, recognition flashed, then faded, his poker face flawless. "I'm interested in your premium line," Daniel finally said. "Specifically the Balaza GT." Gregory's face lit up. "An excellent choice, sir. The Balaza is one of our finest models. Would you like to see what we have available?" "Actually," Daniel said, "I understand you have a black one on the floor. I'd like a closer look at that." "Of course, right this way," Gregory said eagerly, leading Daniel straight to the vehicle Amelia had been denied earlier. "This model includes our premium leather package and state-of-the-art sound system." Sensing a high-ticket deal, Kenneth emerged from his office offering a handshake. "Kenneth Peterson, sales manager." "A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Richardson," Daniel said, shaking firmly. Daniel Richardson. If the name meant anything, to Kenneth he didn't show it. The acquisition had been kept under wraps, only senior staff knew. "Mr. Richardson, welcome to Northlake. I see Gregory is showing you the Balaza GT. A truly outstanding choice." "Yes, it caught my eye," Daniel said. "I'd like to arrange a test drive." "Absolutely," Kenneth said, practically glowing. "We'll prepare the paperwork immediately. Would you like to review the specs while we do that?" Daniel glanced toward the customer lounge. "Actually, I'd like my wife to join me. She's been waiting to see this model." Kenneth's smile faltered slightly. "Your wife?" Daniel turned toward the lounge. "Amelia, would you come over for a moment?" Heads across the dealership turned. Amelia rose and walked confidently toward them. Her plain white blouse and cardigan, once a reason for scorn, were now center stage. Kenneth's expression shifted from confusion to slow, dawning horror. Gregory stood frozen, lips parted slightly. "Hello, darling," Amelia said, kissing Daniel lightly on the cheek. Then to Kenneth she added with a bright smile, "Mr. Peterson and I were discussing this exact model earlier. He explained why I couldn't test drive it." Daniel's brow lifted. "Oh? I'd love to hear more about that policy." Kenneth blanched. His eyes darted between them, trying to connect the dots. Mrs. Richardson," he stammered, the name suddenly meaningful. "There seems to have been a misunderstanding." Gregory remained still, his practiced smile gone. The showroom had gone eerily silent. Staff lingered nearby, pretending to work while hanging on every word. "No misunderstanding," Amelia said evenly. "You made it very clear. The Balazza GT wasn't suitable for someone like me. I believe the phrase was, 'No money, no test drive.'" Daniel's face remained calm, but his eyes turned steely. "Interesting policy, especially considering my wife's name is on half the ownership documents for this dealership." Kenneth's mouth opened and closed. "Mr. Richardson, if I'd known..." "That's exactly the problem," Daniel interrupted, voice low but clear. "You shouldn't need to know who someone is to treat them with respect." Amelia gently touched Daniel's arm, her way of saying she had it from here. He nodded. "Mr. Peterson," she said, addressing the whole room, "I came here today as a regular customer to see how your team treats people when they think no one important is watching." She looked around. Many staff members suddenly found the floor very interesting. "I spent 15 years in customer service, worked my way up from cashier to regional manager. I know the difference between following policy and publicly humiliating someone." Kenneth tried again. "Mrs. Richardson, if there was any impression of..." "There wasn't just an impression," Amelia cut in. "There was a deliberate, coordinated effort to make me feel unwelcome based entirely on how I looked." Daniel stepped forward. "I bought this dealership for its reputation, but clearly that reputation was built on exclusion, not excellence." He turned to address the whole floor. "For those unaware, I'm Daniel Richardson of the Richardson Auto Group. As of last week, we own this dealership." Gasps rippled across the room. "Tomorrow," he continued, "a transition team will arrive to begin a full assessment of staff and operations. Today was meant to be a quiet visit, a chance to observe without interference." Gregory finally spoke. "Mr. Richardson, please, I saw how you treat people who don't look the part," Daniel said sharply. "I understand perfectly." In the week that followed, North Lake Luxury Auto transformed. Kenneth and Gregory were no longer employed. Their roles were quickly filled with people who embraced the Richardson philosophy, respect first always. Amelia took an active role in training, designing programs that focused on fair and dignified treatment for every customer. The culture changed. Smiles became real. Service became sincere. A month later, Amelia returned. Same simple blouse, same pink cardigan. "Good morning, Mrs. Richardson," said Thomas, a newly promoted sales consultant, beaming as he greeted her. "Here to see Daniel?" "Actually," she smiled, "I'm here as a customer today. I'd like to test drive the Balazza GT." "Absolutely," he said without missing a beat. "The keys are ready whenever you are." As Amelia slid into the driver's seat, she caught Daniel watching from his office, pride in his eyes. Some lessons about respect, humility, and judgment are worth teaching, even when they come with uncomfortable truths. Have you ever been underestimated because of how you look? We've all faced moments when others judge us before knowing who we really are. If this story struck a chord, share your own experiences in the comments. Where are you tuning in from? And remember, true character isn't found in expensive clothes or flashy status symbols. It's found in how we treat one another. The most powerful response to prejudice isn't always anger. Sometimes it's simply showing people exactly who you are,